Well, the U.S. ambassador to Kabul says terrorist attacks in Afghanistan have been planned in neighboring Pakistan. This after the deadly attacks on Muslims, marking the martyrdom anniversary of Prophet Muhammad's grandson.
Every significant attack I'm aware of, where I've got some information, either came out of the tribal areas out of Pakistani Baluchistan.
Ryan Crocker, however, says he does not think the attacks could spark sectarian violence in Afghanistan. The Pakistan-based terrorist group Lashkar-e-Jhangvi has claimed responsibility for the blasts in the capital, Kabul, and the northern city of Mazar-e-Sharif on Tuesday. Over 60 people were killed and more than 160 others injured in the attacks. They targeted people who had gathered to mark the 7th century martyrdom of Imam Hussein. The attacks drew harsh criticism from Afghan President Hamid Karzai, who has demanded justice from the Pakistani government. Well, for more on that, we're joined by President of the Society for International Reforms and Research, Mr. Syed Ali Wasif, who's with us from Washington. Welcome to the program. First of all, do you see any substantial change in the U.S.-Pakistan relations, and where exactly is it headed?
Well, it's headed to a doomsday scenario, a failure, total failure, because of the double standards from both the parties, from the side of the United States as well as from the side of the Pakistan's military, because the relationship actually is a foreign policy device by the Pakistan's military and not its government. So having said that, I think the incidents, the sectarian incidents as well as the terrorist incidents in both Pakistan and Afghanistan should be seen in the light of some historical context, and that should be understood. Other than that, the dynamics of those incidents which we see and the international political scenario would not be so clear. So let me begin that thing in the historical context. In order to understand the 18th and the 19th century international politics, one has to understand deeply the repercussions of the French Revolution. And so is the case with the 1979 Islamic Revolution in Iran. So in order to understand contemporary international politics, especially in reference to the Muslim Ummah's problems and its solutions, one has to understand the dynamics of the Islamic Revolution of Iran in 1979. So whatever today you see in the name of Islam being pursued, the policies being pursued by the Iranian regime, Islamic regime in Iran, and the pro-Islamic elements elsewhere in the Middle East and in the entire Muslim world, they have a different stance with those who are pro-Saudi, pro-Zionist, pro-American pseudo-Islamists. They have a different stance. So this should be understood in the context of contemporary international politics. This, whatever is going on in Afghanistan, in the Middle East today, and in Pakistan, is basically a reflection of the tensions between the pro-Islamic revolution elements in the world and the anti-Islamic and pro-Saudi, pro-Zionist, pro-American elements in the name of Islam on the other. So this is basically a kind of a proxy war and a proxy tensions in different regions of the world. So this should be remembered in order to understand the dynamics and the historical context as to what is going on in these countries. Currently, unfortunately, those elements which are sowing the seeds of sectarianism in Pakistan and Afghanistan and in some Middle Eastern countries as well, they are the offshoots of the Saudi government. They have been established, they have been supported, they have been financed, they have been trained by the Saudis and at times by the Americans. What is happening today, and from time to time, the Pakistan's ISI has been involved in that as well. But now Pakistan's ISI seems to be having a different stance from that, because now it's facing a security challenge there within Pakistan. So there is a little bit of a divergence from that stance. But having seen that, this Lashkar-e-Jhangvi, which has claimed that thing in as the bombing, the source of bombing, is actually a splinter group of the Sipah Sahaba of Pakistan, another sectarian group established by the ISI in connivance with the Saudi authorities, financed and trained by the Saudis there. So is the case with the Jundullah group, which operates both in Pakistan and in Afghanistan, and at times in Iran. They have been established by the Americans and by the Saudis. So this is the scenario there. So in order to understand what's going on, you have to just knit the different bits and pieces together, and you'll have the clear picture of who is behind these scenarios, who is behind the terrorist acts, who is funding them, who is providing them sanctuaries, and the ideological inspiration. So basically, the Islamic Revolution of Iran is the beacon of light for the Islamic revolutionaries, the original revolutionaries, and the Saudi-inspired pseudo-pro-Zionist, pro-American Islam is a source of inspiration for those terrorists who are operating in Pakistan, in Afghanistan, and in the Middle East.
Mr. Wasif, Pakistani forces have also now taken over the Shamsi air base, which means that the Americans have evacuated that as a precondition set forth by the Pakistanis. Do you expect that this development will cause less drone attacks in Pakistan?
First of all, it's not the way that you have put the question. It's basically the security risk of Pakistan and the security interest there, because now the Pakistan's military has anticipated that as the longer the American drones or the American influence in the country prevails, the longer is going to be a security risk for the Pakistan's national integrity. So that is the case, and not exactly the will of the military. It's now a problem, an issue within Pakistan. So that has to be understood. The second case is now there is a total divergence of policies and understanding between the Pakistan civilian government and the military. So, and we have seen that thing with regard to the current issue of the memos scandal we are seeing in Pakistan. So it's basically a current,
Mr. Said Ali Wasif, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to interrupt you there. We are running short of time. President of the Society for International Reforms and Research, Mr. Said Ali Wasif, many thanks for sharing your thoughts with us here on Press TV.